Hi guys, I'm Wendy Van.
And I'm Alex Van.
We've been doing a series of videos on 4 main concepts that Alex has spoke of since he was a child. And these are huge concepts. We gave you like just a tiny introduction of learning to accept yourself. That everything has reason, so understanding your intention and your thoughts behind things, learning to accept that responsibility of cause and effect. And one of my favorites, God is love, or the Creator is love, or the love energy that goes throughout the universe, whatever it is that you would like to call the presence.
And finding that love and the connection.
And finding that love. And then one of the last ones is enormous. It is about free will.
We're not going to go into the fullty of the concept, obviously, but...
Yeah. And there's a real debate because some people see free will as an illusion, that we really are just biologically and by DNA and by other things being kind of controlled in life. But as I shared in the last video, in a near-death experience, I know that free will is a cornerstone of who we are as individual light beings, because during that moment, I was asked to choose whether I would leave this earth plane or not. And so I think it's very important that people understand you were given choice. The Creator gave you, as a soul, the right to choose. And that is big because
that is big, yes.
As a soul, you are choosing your path. A lot of people, the old phrase people use, that we are really a soul here on this physical journey. So we are choosing this path for the soul's learnings. And free will is a part of that. Being able to choose what it is that we want. And those choices, as we go along in a lifetime, are creating the path that you end up with. So we're going to talk about free will. So what is a good way to explain free will to people?
To give a name for this concept is I am will. A mixture between I am, or the old biblical phrase referring to God, and will, in this case, you. So,
and that movement.
Yes, and that movement that happens. So after you've gone through a lot of the other steps, you get to a point where you know kind of what you want, how to achieve what you want, and the effect of what you want is going to have. And once you get down that there is love and this support in the connection, the universal connection, we finally get to this last concept, which is the ability to work with that connection to get what you want. And let me explain a bit on that. When you've decided what you're going after, you have the intention, you have the thought, and then you've gone through the process of what effect will this have, and then you make a decision to step forward. What you're utilizing is will, is your internal force to cause change. And in going forward, almost invisibly, unconsciously, you are supported. The things around you adjust to fit that desire, and that is the Creator kind of stepping in and helping you along that path. So this law is really talking about co-creation with God. And what that means for an individual and for a group.
Okay, so let me see if I get this. So one of the things that is important is understanding your wants and desires. And so when we say want, I know a lot of people are out there like, well, I want a new grill or this or that. You can definitely use all these principles in getting those simple things that you need in life. What we're describing is creating the life you want, creating maybe a peaceful home. Maybe it is that you need a new home. Like all those things in life that you desire, you can create. And we do that because we are an extension of the Creator. He has given us that love and free will to create like He did, or He does still. And so we have that connection with Him. And so once we have this want or desire, then we decide the path, the purpose, and then we make the decision to move forward. And in that process of making a decision, then the movement of free will comes, and that's the part that Alex is talking about. You begin to co-create with God, and the Creator helps you to then make whatever it is you're desiring come through. So sometimes things don't come through.
Correct.
And so there's lots of reasons why that don't happen, and that'll probably be its own video. But it's definitely, once you begin to use this and work with this, you'll understand how easily it is to create the space and things that you want. Now, with free will and that movement that kind of gets the ball rolling and kind of really helps you move along, is also then again that responsibility. These are our choices. So if we've spent a lifetime only focusing on the negative and only seeing difficulties, and we've created this kind of chaotic space, it is also recognizing that responsibility, that kind of thought has created this. And now I want something different. I can still change and create something different. So if you're in a situation where it is very dark right now, you still have opportunities to start making different choices.
And you talked earlier about a soul's learning. Now, someone might ask the question, if God is co-creating with me, why would He help me put myself in a bad situation? Because that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to, for the sake of learning, for the sake of growing, to put yourself in this situation so that you could learn how to handle it, learn what part of it you needed to.
And that doesn't mean that everything bad happens to you is what you're creating. You are running across other people's paths and decisions. So let's say, for example, you had someone who was murdered in your family. That might have been running across somebody else's intention to cause harm. But your family still is learning through the process of that grief, or it's learning through the process of how to recognize how strong you are, how cohesive as a family unit you are. So you're still going to learn something through really difficult moments, even though, quote, you may not have created that, you are agreeing to be there for that lesson. So for example, I have an adoptive family. And when I did a scrapbook about these 14 brothers and sisters, I had known some of the stories of children they had lost. And so I had agreed to put like little, angel or clouds and stuff on the pages of children that are lost. What I didn't realize is that every one of them had been affected by either miscarriages or loss of children or, you know, major things that had occurred.
Mm-hmm.
What struck me was, wow, this family as an entire group is on this path of learning about that grief and loss. Like it just was so obvious that they as a whole group are really walking through these really deep, powerful moments in life. Because to have one person lose a child is one thing, but to have many of them, and in one family, they lost all their children. So like, you know, really it was impactful to say, like, this family is learning in a very deep way together about loss.
That this was a very intentional choice at that point.
Yeah, it was kind of obvious once I started putting it down on paper. So sometimes, even though it is a very difficult situation, we still are making choices through it. And you really can understand this because when you make those choices, whether sometimes it feels like you're getting to make a choice or not, and even a choice not to make a choice is still a choice. You know, that is your God-given right. The Creator gave that to you. So as we said, like, free will is a huge concept, and it is a God-given right for you. So we'll go into more of that later because it is in-depth conversation. And if you guys have questions about that, message us and we will put it in some of the next videos. We love you all. Peace and blessings and love to each and every one of you.